started talking to the mic. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. We've got Amber King with Guardian with us. She is going to share some details and really go into what our employee assistance program is. I guarantee a lot of you had no idea that we even had this. This is probably one of our most important benefits. If you have any questions afterwards, feel free to reach out to me at any time. Without further ado, Amber.
Thanks, Anna. Good afternoon, everybody. As Anna said, my name is Amber King, and I am with the Guardian. Before I get started, I'd love to kind of get some feedback from you guys. How many of you here in the room, and I know we have several people online with us today, but how many of you here in the room were aware that you had an employee assistance program before today? Oh, we've got some good hands. Did you guys, so then you knew what an employee assistance program actually was? Oh, no. So most people were still no. Hey, we know we've got one, but we don't know what the heck it is or what it does. So I'm really excited. I was excited when Anna asked us to come in and talk more about this program, because this is something that I wish a lot of employer groups would take the time to educate employees on what kinds of resources are available to you through your EAP program that can really help out through your daily life and your work life as well. So an employee assistance program, or EAP for short, is a program that's really designed to help in all aspects of your daily and your personal and your work life. So as we all know, the line between work and home has really blurred over the last several years. So we're oftentimes taking our work home with us, but when we're dealing with personal issues or we're dealing with stress at home, oftentimes that comes in to the workplace as well. So this is a place for you to go in, be able to get resources, education on different different specific topics that you might be dealing with at home or even at work. And also there are some free available resources for you for things like meeting with a counselor, face-to-face meetings, unlimited phone resources for you to talk to a counselor. There's also legal services, financial advice. I know you guys have that pretty much set already, but there's some resources for you there as well. The four main areas that an EAP or an employee assistance program really seeks to address are areas in health and wellness. That can include stress management, that can include nutrition education, smoking cessation, things like that. Emotional wellness also in there, so that doesn't necessarily just apply to you as the employee and maybe work stress that you're dealing with, or the death of a spouse or a divorce. Maybe you have children that are going through adolescence and they're having their own challenges, or maybe there's some marital challenges there as well. So there's some resources for you to be able to tap into to help support your emotional wellness as well. Financial wellness is the other key aspect, and then that whole work-life balance piece. This is a free resource to you, provided to you, through your employer. So this does not cost you anything to tap into. This is all available to you through Buckingham Asset Management. The other thing that's really important to note is this is completely confidential. So we provide this resource. We partner with IBH, who is a third-party resource that helps to deliver and package some of these programs. So when you decide to access legal advice, or you decide to access a counselor face-to-face or by phone, none of that information is ever relayed to us as the insurance carrier, nor is it ever relayed to the employer. So it is completely confidential. So I think that's really important to make sure you note. So what I was hoping to do today, very informally, is kind of walk through and highlight some of these resources that we do have available in these different key areas. So the first thing that you'll want to see is the landing page. So this is the general website that is going to link you to the different areas of support. So legal and financial, wellness, both corporate and individual, and then behavioral health, all of the different partners that we have here. When you decide to click on one of these areas, you'll be asked to log in. We will be emailing out the information sheet with a username and password that's linked to your group. Once you do that, you can just simply go in and create a username and password that is unique to you. Very simple. It took me about 30 seconds. I just had to re-register today because my other one wasn't working. And if I were to click on work-life balance, for example, it's going to take me, this is probably my favorite part of the website, that's going to give me access to a wealth of information depending on what my issue is, what I'm seeking information on. One of the things that I did in preparation for this meeting is I actually called the 800 number for our EAP program, and I got a representative and I said, I'm getting ready to go out and talk to one of our fabulous groups, and I want to know what you think are some of the key aspects and services that you guys provide. If you got to highlight 3 things, what are the 3 things that you would want to make sure I'm telling our clients? And the 3 things that he highlighted for me include the counseling services, the legal services, the financial services, and then also the care referral programs that we have. So he gave me 4. I know, like I mentioned, you guys have that financial service part, kind of in the bag. So I'll focus on the other ones. When it comes to the counseling services, not only do you have access to a great deal of information on the website, you have unlimited telephone meetings available and consultations available with a licensed counselor. So when you call into the 800 number, and you can find that on the front of this first page, so chat with a counselor either by email or by phone, and they'll get to know specifically what topic you're calling in about. Perhaps it's a marital concern. Perhaps it's a death of a loved one and it's a bereavement call. Perhaps it's something other altogether. And so they're going to find a counselor in your specialty, and you have unlimited visits over the phone and by email with a counselor. The other thing that you have available is 3 face-to-face visits per member of your family every calendar year. So that's a tremendous resource. That does not go through your medical plan. That does not require a copay. That is an absolutely free resource. So you start same place with either the email or the phone. They will, again, find the specialty that you're looking for and refer you to a partner counselor here in your area. So it is an actual local face-to-face contact for you. A good friend of mine actually works for a large national company in sales and was having some custodial, challenges with her ex-husband. And so she was actually seeking out services for her daughter. And so she was able to use her EAP program, also happens to be through Guardian, use her EAP program to be able to access really high quality service for those counseling sessions at no cost. She liked it so much she actually went back and took advantage of it for herself as well. So that is going to be per person for that service. The others, legal counsel. So if you go into the legal and financial, you'll see that there's a lot of legal resources for you. I'll talk and touch on that a little bit, but you have the same access to speak with a legal attorney, again, specific to your issue. Maybe it's you're looking for advice for a divorce, maybe you're looking for advice on a land purchase or setting up a trust, whatever it might be. They're going to find somebody in your specialty, and you have a free 30-minute phone consultation with that attorney, also specializing here in Missouri or where you reside, where your issue is. You can continue the service with that attorney at a discounted price as well. but you've got that free 30 minute conversation with them. I don't know what attorneys charge nowadays, but I'm sure it's not cheap. So that's a nice resource for you as well. And then the other that he made sure he wanted to make sure that I talk about is our referral program. So for elder care, child care, referral. So a lot of us are kind of stuck in that middle generation. I know I am personally. I'm a mom. I've got 2 boys. I also take care of my mother who is disabled. And so being able to have resources, this is one I have actually used myself, being able to have resources to find specialized elder care, whether it's a adult daycare or it's a specialty for emotional disorders or physical disorders. Same with childcare. So if you're looking for a reputable, reliable childcare, maybe your childcare situation is changing, school's getting ready to start. Maybe you've got little kids who are going into school for the first time. You only need after-school childcare. They can refer you to some really quality childcare services, even on spur of the moment. So sometimes that's happened to all of us, where your reliable childcare is no longer reliable that day, and you need somebody spur of the moment because you have a big client meeting or you have something you really need to get to. So they can assist you with that. The other thing is for those of us that might have a child with special needs, they can really, they get very specific into your situation. Perhaps there's some state aid, perhaps there's some special considerations that you need. They can help to locate those resources for you and connect you with both the elder care and child care. So that's one of their most popular resources that they say is used most frequently. And then the other is education. So education resources, same way if you're looking to do some continuing education, if you're looking to maybe enroll in a higher education program, or maybe your kids are getting ready to go into college, they have college counselors that can assist with the college search process, with the application process. They'll also help to find applicable grants and scholarships that you or your child might be, might qualify for based on, your specific situation and the specific schools they're looking to go to. So that's a tremendous resource too for those of us who might have kids getting ready to go into college in the next couple of years. Any questions on that so far? Yes, ma'am. Yes, that's correct. So the question was, does your child need to be on your employer plan to qualify for services? And they do not need to be on your employer plan to qualify for services. So it's going to be any member of your immediate household. Yeah. Great question. Any others? Okay. So let me show you some website navigation so you know where to find some of these resources. On the information that we're going to email out, and you'll see here at the top, this is the same 800 number that I called today, and then you can link directly to email a counselor for that. Specifically, these are going to be your education pieces. So landing page for your overall work-life balance, you can see there's a little bit of everything on here, including, hey, some summer meal recipes. These are going to be your hot topics here in the middle. There's going to be topics on trauma and relationships, buying a home. This is a trending topic. So these will change throughout the year based on trend and activity. And then down here, you've got the Wellness Center. So depending on what area of focus you want to look into or research for wellness, maybe you're looking to quit smoking. There's some smoking cessation programs that are available to you. Again, unlimited telephonic counseling with a smoking cessation specialist. Dieting, there's some nutrition and dieting resources here for you as well. So if I were to click on here, when I go into the weight loss section, there's featured most popular, highest rated. There's all kind of put that on, maybe in the background while I'm eating my lunch. So the videos are really helpful. Lots of really good education on all kinds of different topics here for you. Stress, this is probably the biggest one. So stress is probably the biggest killer for most of us in this country. And like we said, it doesn't turn off any longer. Most of us walk out the door and we take it home with us. We take our home stress and we bring it back the next day. So stress is definitely something that a lot of us can use some resources in how to better handle, sticky situations at your work life, or meditation, or different techniques to help reduce stress as well. You also have access to our savings center. So I'm just going to highlight on this. I know Anna said that she's gone in and is customizing your page, and we'll roll this out a little bit for you at open enrollment. But when you log into the savings center, and I hope my username and password is going to work on this one here. It's not going in. Oh, corporate perks. You'll just create a username and password underneath this sign up. So you just create that. You've already got your access yet in here because it's going to be linked out of your IDH that you've already logged into. And this gives you access to do online shopping. So if you link in through your corporate perks program before you do any of your online shopping, not only are you going to get additional discounts on everything that you can buy online, but you're going to earn points or tokens, depending on what you buy, that adds up to be real dollars. So, for example, school's coming up, and one of the things I looked up was on there, you've got all of your major retailers, Target, Walmart, Nike, Ann Taylor, Lowe's, Home Depot, in all kinds of different categories. So they're really all on there. And when I link into their website, it'll take me actually directly into their website. I can do all of my regular online shopping. I do a lot of that. So with little kids, I don't get a chance to drag them through the store. That's an adventure that I like to avoid. So I do most of my shopping after the kids are in bed, sitting on my couch online. So school's coming up. Both my boys need new sneakers. And I went on yesterday doing my research for this presentation, and was able to order sneakers through Nike. And throughout different times of the year, the points are going to vary based on the retailer, and they're going to vary based on the time of the year. So 1 point, you get for every dollar you spend, you get a point. For every 100 points, it is $1 to spend back. And you can use your points really anywhere to spend as well. So Nike, I think, had a 10 times points. So for every dollar I spent, I got 10 points. And those, it didn't cost me any more to do. I'm still eligible for all of the deals that they have online, all of the free shipping, but they kind of add up. One of the things that I also looked up on that corporate discount program, so they have a lot of travel services, and I'm very skeptical. I'm sure being in the financial industry, you guys are skeptical as well. So I said, okay, are these real savings or are these fake savings? You know how that goes. So my husband and I are getting ready to celebrate our anniversary and his 40th birthday. We decided we're going to go to Las Vegas. We had already gone on TripAdvisor. We looked at all the hotels. We knew exactly which hotel we wanted to book. So I went in yesterday, and I'm sure my coworkers walking by my desk, seeing me look up Las Vegas and Nike, thought I wasn't actually doing much. But I looked at the Palazzo Hotel, which was the one that we knew we wanted to stay at. And the difference between booking that direct, which they had their guaranteed, and I've got my air quotes going, my guaranteed lowest price, to book that direct with the website was $880. Now I booked it through corporate perks, and with the discount, my total was $600.29. So it actually saved me $280 real dollars on the exact same hotel, on the exact same room, for the exact same weekend. So I was like, this is pretty sweet. So this is actually a real deal. And in addition to that, I earned I was getting 2 times wow points, and I had 1,201 wow points that I got. So I got 2 points for every dollar that I spent. So now I have 1,200 points that plus what I spent at Nike, plus school's still coming up. There's still some more shopping to do. And I can use those for, something that I might need to buy later on. So I promised Anna I wouldn't spend too much time on the corporate discount, but was just really excited to share that with you guys. Any questions on that piece? So I highly recommend once you get into the Savings Center, just click here to access your Savings Center, log in, and you'll have access to all of that as well. There are other tools, same thing for your My Stress tools. This is going to take you to another similar resource. So when you link out of the site, very easy to just create a username and password. Create the same username and password for all of these. And that My Stress tools is going to give you, again, resources to help manage daily life stress, work stress. Maybe you have a coworker that's just driving you crazy and you're not exactly sure how to deal with that situation. Lots of good information for you on there. And then webinars, because we all love webinars, right? This is something, again, that you can do depending on what your scenario is, that you can do over your lunch hour or do, when you've got some extra time. Here's a good one. This is kind of a hot topic. So what are my kids doing online? So my 10-year-old really wants a cell phone, and we are really fighting against the cell phone. So, but he has an iPad and, he's watching, YouTube videos. So what are some of the steps that I can do as a parent to help safeguard my child? And, those are the kinds of things some of us keeps us up at night. Science of happiness. So these are all going to be a little bit different every year, but you can register for those upcoming webinars. They are live, and then you can also access any of the recorded webinars from previous as well. So that is the home page. You also can drill down a little bit more specifically into certain topics like emotional well-being. Now that can be overall well-being, like we talk a lot about stress, but it could also be about perhaps emotional disorders. Maybe you're dealing, or somebody in your family is dealing with an emotional disorder, or you're not quite sure if it's an emotional disorder, but their behavior has really changed recently. There's a lot of really good resources for you on emotional disorders, as well as very common things that a lot of us deal with every day. So anxiety, trauma, loss of a loved one, even drinking and dieting. So autism, special needs, a lot of really good specialized resources for you here. Relationships, same way. So this can talk about caregiving. Again, perhaps you have an elderly family member that you help to take care of. College life, hey, I've got kids getting ready to go into college. Nurturing yourself, parenting. I think there's areas here that really can touch all of us. Financial. There's a couple of cool things that I did find back on the home page underneath the financial topic. See where it is. It was on the here. So a couple of additional things that you have access to are online resources for free that all of us should probably have already. Things like a will. So if you have kids, this was something I expected to cost me a lot of money to go to an attorney, to have a will drawn up, to make sure that the assets that we had were divided between our kids the way we want if something were to happen to us. This is available to you at no cost. So you can download as an attachment. You can pull that up. You just fill in the blanks. You make sure that it relates to you and your family, and then print it out, sign it with you and your spouse, take it in and have it notarized. Well, you want to sign it in front of the notary. So take it in and have it notarized. Put it in a safety deposit box or in a fire safe at your home. It is maybe not the same as a true legal attorney-drawn will, but it can really help when things come, when the worst happens. So. There's also good resources here for like basics of effective communication. There's good career development tools on here too. So health, again, you can actually look in here and look up different surgeries and procedures. Maybe the doctor just said, hey, you've got to have a shoulder surgery, or you have to have a specific procedure. And you're like, what does that mean? I mean, that sounds really complicated. It's got a really long, fancy name to it, and that sounds scary. So, or perhaps one of your loved ones is getting ready to have a procedure. You can go in here and actually look to see information about that very specific procedure. So then again, legal. So Simple Living Trust, this is again a free document available for you how to set up a Simple Living Trust. You have the will preparation, so will for adult with children, will for adult with no children, preparing a will, monthly budget, very basic. So this is a great place to start. Again, you guys being in the financial side of things, even those of us in the financial industry, sometimes, you know, that we could clean out our own closets first. So I know I just put one together this year, and it's been really helpful for my husband and I to make sure that we're spending at Nike and, you know, the Vegas trip in the same way. We've got our priorities in line. Consumer laws, there's contracts, criminal laws, debt and bankruptcy, divorce and child custody. There's also forms available to you on here. So lots of executors checklist. Heaven forbid, you know, something happens to one of our parents, and all of a sudden you find out you're the executor of their estate. What do I do? What am I supposed to do? So lots of good information here for you too. Training resources. Again, on a lot of the same things that we talked about, these are going to be a little bit more career oriented. So talk about effective communication. Maybe you're a supervisor and you work with a team. Tips on being an effective supervisor. We also have, for those of you who are a manager or are a supervisor, there are some additional resources that the Employee Assistance Program can provide to you directly. That will be communicated to you by Anna, and we'll send that out to your emails as well. So some very specific things around personnel management. Another one that I really like here is the maternity resources. So there's also a flyer on this that'll be sent out to you as well. And the maternity resources, I mean, gosh, this is probably the biggest life change that most of us go through, especially for those of us who are working women, and even dads too. So this is a great way to get some information. Maybe your wife is expecting, and you're like, oh, I wonder what to expect. This can be something that can really give you some good information on, you know, the journey ahead, if you will. There's information on here about parenting. There's information on here about children, adolescents, maternal depression, you know, postpartum depression, infertility even. So there's some infertility resources for those of us that might struggle with that. How to take care of yourself and how to manage, most importantly, how to manage stress, you know, in not only through your pregnancy, but having a young child and working as well. So that life balance can be a challenge for most of us. So that's kind of an overview of the website, very high level. Any specific questions that or concerns that you guys might have, or resources you want to know if they're available in inside of school? Yes. Yeah. And there's courses on all kinds of different topics. So under the training room, the IBH courses, you have the Work Life Matters training, and you can click into the Work Life Matters training room, and it'll break it down for you by topic. So some of the topics would include your life issues, managing people. So again, if you're a supervisor or a team manager, managing stress, you can see that's a pretty consistent topic throughout the program. Professional development is a really great one, and then workplace issues. So this is going to be where, you know, sometimes those uncomfortable situations happen. You're not exactly sure who to talk to or how to handle a specific situation. This is going to give you a really good outline into, you know, hey, is this okay? Who should I talk to about it? Is it okay for me to feel uncomfortable about the you know, experience I just had, and who do I take that concern to? So things like that. Or workplace issues. Hey, I'm really looking forward to trying to get a promotion. How do I position myself really well for a promotion? So it doesn't just have to be, hey, I've got these negative things going on. You know, things can be really going well, and you're like, hey, how do I like build on this and you know, keep going in a really good trajectory as well. So it's not just the negative things that happen to us. So I'm going to click on workplace issues and see if it'll click me in. Oh, yep, it's below. So workplace issues, these are the 100 series. You've got PowerPoint with sound 200 series, 300 series. And then you can work your way down and go through the whole course, or you could even just pick out what is most relevant to you and what you might want to learn about. So coping with changes in the workplace. Maybe you had a boss that you really liked and they took a job elsewhere, or you know, maybe there's a shift in the department structure. How, you know, and you know, there's some good tips in there how to handle changes and uncertainty. Here's supervisory training. So drug-free workplace. If you are a supervisor and you maybe have a suspicion that there might be some concern with drug or alcohol abuse with one of your team members, here's a training on that. How do I handle that? Who do I go to? We have some additional resources for you, again, as a manager or supervisor on something like that. But maybe you're just an employee and you're like, you know, hey, there's somebody here in the office I really like, but I'm concerned about them. What should I do about that? And you can look and see that just as an employee, how to take a look at that. Diversity training. There's just a basic overview. So that would be something that you might be able to want to look at for either a new employee, or you might want to revisit, because I'm sure there's some topics here that I didn't cover. This would be your basic orientation, which would be Workplace 202. Skill builders. Resolving coworker conflicts. Preventing workplace violence. Mastering the respectful workplace. Valuing workplace diversity. So lots of really good topics, and the more that you as a team, as a group, engage in a lot of this learning, probably the more that that becomes amplified. Let's see. Let's look at the professional development. So professional development, business etiquette and professionalism. I actually had an opportunity to take a course one time I thought was fascinating on business lunch etiquette. So I'm a country girl. I grew up in a really small country town. So that one was fascinating for me. I realized I was eating all wrong, you know, with my hands and, you know, no napkin, like a caveman. Skill builders. So resolving coworker conflicts, again, avoiding workplace harassment, responding to a disappointing performance review. So we've probably all had situations where you just didn't maybe get the score that you thought you were going to get. So that's going to be under your training room. Let me go back and show you how to get there again. Okay, I can actually figure out how to get there again. So under your training room, which is your tab under here. A great question. Any other questions? Okay. Well, we will get out the username and password for everybody. It just goes on and on and on. As you can see, there is a lot. This is kind of where you can go to research a topic first, because it is a culmination of some of the best research out there. So we can all go online, you know, and sometimes you're not sure exactly the resource that you're getting the information from. So this can be a really trusted place for you. Take advantage of that legal service, that legal 30-minute consultation if you have any concerns, or even before you make a financial decision like buying a house or setting up the will. If you're going to take advantage of that will prep, talk to the attorney to say, what do I need to put in here? If I use this language here, how will that play out? So that might be great. That is per plan year per person. No, I'm sorry, it's per calendar year per person. Yeah, so that will reset every January 1st. So if you have an issue and then your significant other, your spouse has an issue, then they can use that resource as well. And then if there's an issue, you have an issue, maybe it's a custody issue with a child, then that could be their issue as well. So that is per person in your immediate household. Same with the counseling. So that's probably the biggest one, is this 3 free, completely confidential, face-to-face counseling sessions. But sometimes it just feels really good to talk to somebody who doesn't think you're crazy, because we're all dealing with some of those issues that, you start to think, man, I wish I could just had somebody to talk to about it, but I don't want to burden my coworker or my spouse, and I really can't talk to my friends about it. Gives you a really good resource just to be able to kind of bounce something off somebody. So, yes, ma'am. Yes, so it can go, if it's a couple issue, you can get 3 for you and then 3 for your spouse or your couple, the other half of your couple as well. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And the goal, I know your employer's goal, and I know Anna's goal is, in all sincerity, it's about taking care of the whole you for us at Guardian as well. It's not just about taking care of your insurance needs at time of claim. We're all here to take care of your entire well-being, not just here at work, but at home. Just from a sense of trying to you guys engage and keep you happy and make sure you guys are here when and good when you're here. That's it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Takeaways, remember this is totally free, totally confidential, and you have access to all of this today. The username and password that she was talking about is actually in our Associate Benefits Guide. It's in our shared drive in the official forms folder, or just email me and I'll send it to you too. So thank you for coming. There's snacks in the back. Pick some up on your way out. Make sure to sign the Buck 360 sign in. Have a great rest of your day.
Oh my, you're welcome.